Oh, come on. That could have been an epic intro. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Bradley. Today I'm going to be reviewing 2021's The Suicide Squad, written and directed by James Gunn. Yes, the James Gunn that did Guardians of the Galaxies Volume 1 and 2 for Marvel. They kind of had a little falling out for a little bit. Kind of jumped over to DC. Fans went nuts about him being fired from Volume 3 for just stupid stuff. We don't need to go into all that here, but this is his foray into the DC extended universe. And I gotta say, right at the top, very surprised and very happy with the result we got from it. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be considered a sequel or kind of a soft reboot in a way, because I know the Suicide Squad from 2016 didn't pan out exactly as Warner Brothers and DC had hoped, or as any of us had hoped. That was, talk about a letdown there on that one, at least to me. It had so much promise, and it just didn't. No, thank you. This one is a totally different story. This one, I think, went above and beyond for just sheer entertainment value. Again, this is going to be another rambling film review. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. It's how my brain works. Take it or leave it. I think it was a great idea getting somebody like James Gunn in here, because he's got a very weird style. We all know this if you've seen, obviously, the Guardians of the Galaxy, or even like his horror stuff like Slither. He's very good at using gore and violence to a comedic level, a la like Sam Raimi, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think he uses it to that effect in this film as well. So I think that was a good choice, bringing him in for something like this, especially an ensemble piece, because again, going back to Guardians of the Galaxy, you've seen he can do great ensembles together and make them mesh well, and have this kind of offbeat vibe from them to where you know, you're not really sure if you're supposed to like them or care about them in any way, but you know, he knows how to inject that heart into stories like this. So I'm gonna kind of go down the list of characters we have in this movie. I'm gonna try to stick to the main people in this, because there's a lot of people. Minor spoiler, skip ahead like 15 seconds if you don't want to know. We do get a Suicide Squad in the opening. They are very quickly dispatched, and then we get our Suicide Squad for the rest of the movie, which is something I saw coming. So first up, with top billing, surprisingly and unsurprisingly, is Margot Robbie, who returns as Harley Quinn. I was a little disappointed because I don't think they necessarily gave her a whole lot to do in this movie, because in the first iteration of the Suicide Squad, she stole the show, like easily. She easily stole the show in that movie. She was probably the best part about it. And then I think her best portrayal of it, which I just watched before the Suicide Squad, was in Birds of Prey. The very fun movie. I was surprised at how thoroughly I enjoyed that movie. It was a lot of fun. It kind of had almost the same vibe as this movie. So I think it fits well as a companion piece to this in a way. But I don't think she didn't really steal the show. They didn't give her too much to do in this one, surprisingly. She's just got her one-liners, and that's kind of it. Not that that's Margot Robbie's fault. She did a great job as always. This is kind of her crowning achievement so far as this character as Harley Quinn. And yeah, I think they just needed to give her a little bit more to do, but what you did get, I mean, I did thoroughly enjoy. You also have Idris Elba as Bloodsport. I think he's the one that steals the show this time. Very, very hard-edged, thick-skinned, but also he shows moments of being vulnerable. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's got a thing with rats, and one of his cohorts, his name is Ratcatcher 2. So obviously some comedy's going to ensue there. But he's very great with his one-liners in this. He brings a lot of heart to the squad themselves, with, of course, his daughter is the one that's on the line for him. Basically the reason why he's doing this. She's facing jail time, and you know, if he does this, he'll get years knocked off his sentence, but also she'll be left alone and all that. So that's, you know, the whole reason why he's doing it is for his daughter, and that's how they add the weighted element to this movie. Next up, you have John Cena as Peacemaker, who I just really love how John Cena has kind of gone in this comedic direction, but also taking really offbeat roles, as we've seen with like Trainwreck. I think the little bit he was in that movie, he really stole the show in that movie as well. And also even in something like Blockers, which was a little more kind of a typical, comedic role. It wasn't anything over the top, but it was still really nice to see him portray something like that. This very, very big, bulky, muscular guy acting like just this very kind-hearted suburban dad. You know what I mean? And that's almost what we get in this, just a little bit more extreme in this movie. And yeah, I really think he's got some good acting chops. His comedic chops are even better. So I'm hoping he kind of sticks to the comedic lane for a little bit. I don't know if I've ever seen him do anything dramatic. I don't really want to, but I'm not going to put it past him that he wouldn't do good at it. So I think if he stays in this lane, he'll be around for quite a while. You get Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, returning from the first movie, one of the few people who returns from the first movie. He did a great job. He's a good job as the leader. He's also got his funny elements. I don't know. I don't think they gave him a whole lot to do in this. He's just kind of the mediator in a way, and I think he plays that role very well. There's not really a whole lot I can say about him in general. I just don't think they gave him a whole lot to do, especially when you've got so many characters. You kind of want to showcase the ones we haven't seen before. And then you've got possibly whatever everybody's favorite part of this movie is. I can only assume is Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. It's just so funny that they made him like almost caveman, like, doing the hand and bird, like just these. He handles these literally one-word lines so well. I think it was his voice, his accent, was perfect for King Shark. I think everybody kind of steals the scenes they're in when it's a little more focused on that character, if that makes any sense. Like pretty much any scene where King Shark is the focus, he kills it. Like he does a really good job at it. They did a good job of making him feel like he was a person, even though he's just a great white walking around on land essentially. So I think they did a really good job with him, and the design looks good, and the graphics of it look good because it's all CGI. There's a couple parts that might have been or might not have been CGI, or they just did a really good job with those close-ups. Because when they do the close-ups, you can see like the scales on him and all that, and it looked really well done. So Sylvester Stallone for what little he had to do in terms of just delivering his lines, he did a great job of just those very short, succinct lines that are just one-word lines. Yeah, he did a really good job on it. We of course get Viola Davis returning as Amanda Waller. Again, she was in the first movie. Again, she's basically just doing the same thing. She's behind a security console yelling at them the whole movie. It's kind of all she does, but she does come off as very threatening and scary. Viola Davis knows how to command the screen and be vicious. She's an Academy Award winner and a multiple nominee. She's been nominated like 4 or 5 times. Like if anybody's ever seen Doubt, she was only in that movie like 8 minutes, and she was nominated for an Academy Award, and she was ultra vulnerable in that movie, and she kind of just does the opposite here. She takes command and is just vicious and vile in a way, and it's nice to see her in that kind of role. We also get David Dastmalchian. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. I don't think I've ever actually heard it said before, so if I said it wrong, I apologize. He's the Polka Dot Man, which I think kind of takes everyone by surprise how good of a character he is. I know James Gunn said when he was going into this, he wanted to just bring in the most obscure, not as well-known characters, and Polka Dot Man, I think, definitely fits that bill. At one point somebody's like, oh, what does he do? Throw polka dots? And they just kind of... So that's literally what he does, but it's amazing when he does, and his performance was really good. It was a little more subdued to everybody else kind of being over the top. He had a little bit of over the top moments, but not so much as like John Cena or Harley, Margot Robbie, sorry. But yeah, I think he did a really good job. There's also a bunch more characters in this movie that I can't go into right now, and I'll get into, you know what? We'll get into spoilers right now. I'll link down below when the spoiler section is over, because it might be a couple minutes long. I don't want you to jump in right in the middle of it or anything. So pretty much as I expected, when there was the teaser release for how many people were going to be in this movie and who they were going to play and all that, I was like, oh, so many of them are going to get dispatched of very early on, and it's within the first 10 minutes, if not before the 10-minute mark. Man, at least 7 or 8 of them go down. That being, oh man, let's see. You get Michael Rooker as Savant. He's dispatched of very quickly. Pete Davidson as Blackguard, dispatched of very fast. Nathan Fillion as TDK, the detachable kid. I kind of would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of his character, because that was a pretty good surprise what his superpower was, and they might have been able to use that a little more, but it's all right. But yeah, he's dispatched of very fast. You also get Sean Gunn as Weasel. Again, same thing. He's in there for a couple jokes and then gone, just dispatched of, unless you watch the end credits. Go do that if you haven't. You get Flula Borg as Javelin, who passes off his javelin to Harley, who we will see uses that to basically bring down the big bad of this movie. And you also have Mei-Ling Ng as Mongol. She's an alien mass murderer. Again, she's one of the ones that doesn't get a whole lot to do. A couple jokes, she's gone. So, we're not gonna dwell on any of that. But overall, I think James Gunn succeeded in his vision of wanting to make this ultra violent, ultra profane, heavily stylized. The big baddie of the movie was very well executed and so weird. It was such a strange thing to do, but it worked very well. My only problem with this movie was I think it was a little bit too long. We could have gotten to the end a little faster, or just maybe trimmed some scenes just a tiny bit. But maybe it was just my viewing of it that night. Maybe I was just tired and I was just kind of wanting to get to the end. But I just remember being like, man, we've been here for a little while. I kind of want to, I'm kind of ready to wrap this up. So again, I'm probably going to give it a watch again before it leaves HBO Max, and I'll see how I feel the second time. But for now, I think it could have been just a tiny bit shorter. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think I said this before previously with my Green Knight episode, which was about the same length of time. They probably could have trimmed 10 minutes, could have been a nice, lean, mean 2 hours, and we would have been good. But I mean, again, I was not let down. I think I gave this 4 stars, which I probably gave the first one, 1.5, possibly. It's semi-entertaining, but it's so mind-numbing. Anyway, if you guys want to see more reviews or ratings, I'll put my Letterboxd right around here somewhere for you guys to go follow. I usually will rate a movie right after I watch it, so I don't forget. I'm trying to rate every movie I watch this year and not forget about it. So yeah, definitely check out my Letterboxd if you guys haven't, and let me know what you thought of this movie. Did you like it better than the original one? I really hope you did. Or if you didn't, let me know. Love it, hate it, in the middle, where are you on this one? I'm going to be excited to see these people return in some fashion. Hopefully after Guardians 3, James Gunn will come back and do, part 2 in some way. But maybe not. It doesn't need it. I think he's established these off-color characters enough to where they can branch out on their own. Peacemaker is getting his own series, played by John Cena, on HBO Max. So that's gonna be really interesting to see what they do with that character. I'm gonna be interested to see what they do with these characters down the road. I don't know how much Margot Robbie loves playing Harley Quinn. I'm gonna assume she loves playing her, because 3 times and she doesn't seem to be getting tired of it or seem to be losing her steam playing the character at all. So that's going to be exciting to see that too. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought of the movie down below. I'm going to be very interested to see what you think of it. And I'll see you guys in the next film review, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. So stay tuned for that.